So, if you didn't know, our boy Tokita Ohma, the guy who we all thought died at the end of Kengan Ashura, has returned live in the recent Chapter 50 of Kengan Omega, the sequel manga. Let's go over how, but first, if you're a fan of everything Kengan, subscribe for more greatness. Now, let's go over some possible theories. If you didn't know, it's mentioned in Kengan Ashura that the Kure clan have the power to give life and take it away. Here's the panel here, you can have a look. This could mean they bring Ohma back to life. It also makes sense to why Kure Rain calls Ohma partner and why they're even together in the first place in the recent Chapter 50. It also wouldn't be the first time a character in Kengan Ashura or Kengan Meta that we thought died is in fact alive and didn't die. It may also make sense with why he didn't show or appear until 2 years later, as I believe there was a 2-year time skip between the end of Kengan Ashura and Kengan Omega. Ohma at the end of Ashura was definitely dead or extremely close, meaning the healing process that the Kure clan may have done on Ohma may have taken, I don't know, 2 years to complete, or maybe a year and a half to even actually work. It also could be that Ohma had knowledge of the worm, like that we've learned about recently, everything involving the worm, from his time in the restricted district and his time with Nico. He could have had some knowledge of the worm or something he had known about the worm, and then would have told the Kure clan about them, and that would lead them go into hiding. And this would also explain why Kure Rain hadn't been seen since the tournament, which is mentioned in a more earlier Kengan Omega chapter, where they're working out who they can recruit for the tournament against Purgatory, and they say, oh, we have no one seen Kure Rain since the tournament, no one knows where he is. That could explain why no one had seen Kure Rain until the recent Chapter 50. Chad Ladder's back, and he could be healing or even training to take on Worm in that 2 years he is gone, or maybe 1 year healing, 1 year training. So there you go. That's the most probable theory in my opinion. I'm not really sure. There's also the clone theory that's very surrounded in mystery, featuring the worm and everything around then. With them doing research on the brain for over 30 years, they could have came up with a way to bring people back to life or something along those lines. They could be watching, or they could have been watching the Annihilation tournament and seen that Ohma was close to death, in turn taking him when he died in Ashura. They bring him back to life and maybe started to clone him to get the power of the advance, but failed. This could explain where Ryuki came from, as he maybe was the first successful clone of Ohma that survived but didn't inherit the advance technique, but was able to inherit immense strength. But why is Ohma with Rain in Chapter 50, you may be still asking? This is what I think. About a year and a half after the cloning took place, the Kure clan received knowledge about the worm and everything about him, and decided to raid one of their bases, in turn finding Ohma and take him, healing him for about the next half a year, and then there he is in Chapter 50 with Kure Rain. They maybe bonded a bit over that time. This could explain why in a recent Omega chapter the worm had taken the hair sample of Ohma, as they may need that to continue cloning him, as they don't know where the actual Ohma is, so they may have had enough research or done enough stuff to just use a piece of hair to continue cloning him to try and inherit the advanced technique and make their own tiger vessel or something along those lines. So good to mention that we never really directly hear anyone say that Ohma died during that tournament. That's what I know of pretty much. His return could mean that other characters may be involved in the worm whole ordeal that are inside Kengan, and that they're here to pretty much take on the worm. This may question what's going to happen with the Purgatory tournament. May not even happen until a bit of time now, considering what's going on with the worm. Let me know your thoughts, or if you have your own theory of why or how Ohma was able to return. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, and just let me know your thoughts of the content. If you want more Kengan Omega, Kengan Ashura content, let me know as well. And that's it, guys. Peace.